is CTV News.
Good evening, I'm Sanjay Maru. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with the latest chapter in the first-degree murder trial of Brian Marbury, accused of killing his estranged wife, Sarah Boulay. Again, a warning that the details of this story may be disturbing to some viewers. Today, the focus was on closing arguments, and as CTV's Michelle Molesky reports, today marked the first time in 3 weeks since this trial began that jurors heard the perspective of the defense.
Defense lawyer Ken Marley wants the jury to discount the evidence of 3 key Crown witnesses. The lily is being gilded, Marley said in his closing statement on behalf of Brian Marbury, charged with first-degree murder. His wife, 36-year-old Sarah Boulay, was killed in late May 2023. Boulay's mother testified about a long-term relationship riddled with abuse and jealousy. Marley challenged the jury to consider her bias as a grieving parent and wanting to make sure someone pays for what happened. The defense believes Boulay was not fully honest with her family about their relationship. Marley noted Boulay went voluntarily to this motel room. And he asked the jurors to discount the evidence of the 2 auditory witnesses who were in the room below. Their versions, Marley argued, are too different to be reliable. She used a soft voice, according to Miss Hamid, Marley said. She was screaming, according to Mr. Scanlon. The Crown attorney took nearly 2 hours to sum up their case against Marbury Monday morning. In the weeks before her death, Marbury came to Windsor repeatedly and stayed at one hotel on Huron Church Road. But the weekend of May 26th, the Crown argues he went to a different hotel for the first time and told Boulay to simply come to his room. Emil Carrington said that was the first step in Marbury's plan. He was expecting she was going to leave him for another man, Carrington argued. The anger and jealousy and need for control led him to believe that if he couldn't keep Sarah, he wouldn't allow another man to be in a relationship with her. The Crown believes Boulay was either seriously hurt or dead at this point when the motel manager came to the door that night. Carrington asked the jurors to consider Marbury's post-offense conduct. If he didn't mean to do it, why would he act that way after she was dead, Carrington questioned. He stayed in a room with her for some 48 hours in the darkness. Carrington said Marbury had the intent, the motive, and the state of mind to commit first-degree murder. Michelle Molesky, CTV News.
Prime Minister Mark Carney has landed in Washington, where he'll meet with U.S. President Donald Trump on Tuesday, hoping to find relief for Canada's steel and aluminum sectors. The trip is Carney's second to Washington since his election in April. Carney has faced some pressure to get a deal done, though recent polling suggests that Canadians understand that dealing with Trump can be complex. And despite liberal optimism that tariff relief is possible, political observers and industry stakeholders are skeptical that a trade deal is coming. The Aluminum Association of Canada says it does not expect an agreement to come from the meeting, but that a resolution before heading into a review of the Canada-US-Mexico agreement is critical. The Premier of Ontario is doubling down on his threat to pull Crown Royal from the shelves of LCBO stores, promising to pull every single one of Diageo's products off the shelves. As CTV's Bob Belichico reports, the union representing workers inside the Amherstburg bottling facility says he should go all in and do it before Christmas, when it will have a bigger impact.
If they don't have our interests, then why should we have theirs?
Reaction to Premier Doug Ford's threat to take Diageo products off the shelf at LCBOs across the province if the company closes their near-century-old Amherstburg plant.
All the bigwigs at Diageo, I swear to God, those bottles of Crown Royal are coming off the LCBO shelves when the last person walks out through that door.
It's important that he continues to talk about it.
John Dagnolo, president of the union representing workers, says Ford has tried to communicate with the company.
What can we do to make sure that plant is open? What do we need to do to keep Diageo in Amherstburg? But when Diageo is not even doing that with Unifor nor the Premier, it's an issue.
Crown Royal was born in Canada. It's a Canadian product. And, you can't just take that to the United States and pretend it's not Canadian. And if you take it to the United States, it won't be Canadian and we won't buy it.
Earlier this year, Ford dumped a bottle of Crown Royal and encouraged others to do the same. Now he's wondering aloud how the company could let loose a plant with 200 workers.
Who in the right mind, any business person with half a brain,
would go after their largest customer in North America.
Ford says the province sells over $765 million of Diageo product. 35 brands could be removed from the shelves, including Guinness, Smirnoff, Bailey's, and Captain Morgan.
Based on what I've been told, it costs annually approximately $16 million to run the plant that's behind us here.
Dagnolo wants Ford to go all in now. Remove the products from the LCBO now to prompt a quicker response from the company.
The bottom line is the dollar, so we got to hurt them when it comes to taking it off the shelf, and they'll lose those dollars.
The Premier feels very strongly about this, and all options are on the table.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
As of this morning, Windsor-Detroit has a new cross-border tunnel bus service. As CTV News reported last month, the Link bus will offer the same service as Transit Windsor did. The owners say to start, it will run on a regular schedule, every hour on the hour, 7 days a week. But users can expect that to change down the road as the company analyzes traffic flow. Riders will be picked up at Bruce and Riverside Drive West. According to the company's website, there are 3 drop-off locations in Detroit. They include Washington Boulevard and Jefferson Road, Cass Avenue and Michigan Avenue, and the Tunnel Bus Plaza at Mariners Church. The cost is $15 per person, one way. Transit Windsor ended its regular tunnel bus service to Detroit on August 31st. The special events bus is operating until December 20th.
Well, we're hopeful that people get to know us, get to know our service. Right, a lot of people don't know yet that we're actually taking the bus previously. We're just trying to get our word out there via social media, news, however we can, and hopefully pick up more passengers.
Well, just one day after a lithium-ion battery sparked a fire at the regional landfill near Essex, Windsor Fire and Rescue is using the incident as a timely warning that lithium-ion batteries, while convenient, can also be dangerous when damaged, overcharged, or simply just tossed in the trash. CTV's Chris Campbell explains.
A fire on Sunday at the regional landfill was sparked by a lithium-ion battery. It's exactly the kind of risk Windsor Fire is warning about as part of this year's Fire Prevention Week.
It's been the focus within the province this year. We're seeing an increase in the amount of fires due to lithium-ion batteries. A lot of those fires are caused, one of the big things is improper charging with the wrong cords.
The theme this year is Charge into Fire Safety. Officials say lithium-ion batteries power everything from cell phones and e-bikes to power tools, and if used incorrectly or get damaged, they can heat up, catch fire, or even explode.
It's not uncommon for them to be at the bottom of the garbage, and then they overheat, they get crushed, and then all of a sudden you have a fire.
Windsor Fire Chief Jamie Waffle also cautions against leaving phones charging on beds or couches and reminds people not to throw batteries in household garbage or blue bins, saying they should be recycled at designated drop-off sites like the one at the Essex-Windsor Solid Waste Authority.
And really you don't have to do it often, just put them in a safe place, and then when you have enough, make a trip to the depot. They're free to drop off, and we have 3 depots in Essex-Windsor, one in Windsor, one in the municipality of Essex, and one in Kingsville.
Batteries are actually the #1 cause of landfill fires in the province, and I would argue beyond the province of Ontario. So it's very important that residents be aware of the hazards of just simply putting the battery back into the garbage.
The campaign runs all week with events across the city and Essex County, reinforcing another message that most fatal fires happen in homes without working smoke alarms. Ontario law requires one on every story and outside all sleeping areas.
We're 30, 40 years into smoke alarm safety. They absolutely save lives, and statistically, Chris, we are seeing well over 50% of our fire fatalities in the province don't have working smoke alarms in their house.
Chris Campbell, CTV News.
The country's federal fisheries minister says Marineland's request for emergency funding from Ottawa in a letter that warned 30 beluga whales at the park will otherwise be euthanized is, quote, inappropriate. Marineland made the request Friday with a deadline of Tuesday after Joanne Thompson denied the Niagara Falls, Ontario attraction permits to move Canada's last captive whales to an aquarium in China. In the letter to Thompson, Marineland wrote that euthanasia would be a, quote, direct consequence of her decision to deny the permits. Marineland says it is running out of money to feed and care for the whales and needs an immediate injection of cash. Thompson says Marineland is accountable for the care of its remaining belugas and that Ontario has a role to play in ensuring the welfare of animals across the province. A London mother and nurse practitioner is now adding TV chef to her impressive resume. Here's CTV's Rita Ismail now with more on a home cook competing on Season 8 of MasterChef Canada.
A high-stakes kitchen, celebrity judges, and 15 determined home cooks. That's the setup for MasterChef Canada's season premiere. And among them, Londoner Ashley Treadway.
Was floored. I was shocked. I was super excited. I was really scared and nervous at the same time.
Treadway is a nurse practitioner who says she first learned to cook out of necessity.
My mother was a terrible, terrible cook when I was a kid. It was shake and bake and sidekicks, and she knows this. She's going to kill me when this is aired. But it was so disgusting. I started cooking as soon as I could reach the stove. I think I was 10 years old when I started cooking.
Now her go-to dish is anything but basic.
Today I've made a squid ink fettuccine with pan-seared scallops. MasterChef Canada kitchen is surreal. It is really nerve-wracking. You're with a whole bunch of people that you just met, but easily become a family really quickly. So it's my little MasterChef family is what I call them.
In the first episode, contestants face the Black Apron Battle, a pressure test where only 12 earn the coveted white apron and a chance to stay in the competition. For those who stumble, a second chance signature dish could save their spot.
Very proud. She worked so hard to get it. She worked so hard with all the jobs that she does. And to make time, first of all, to cook for a family the way she does, but then to take her passion onto a TV show has been pretty amazing to watch the journey.
Ashley, we'd like to taste your dish next.
And while Treadway hopes to someday publish a cookbook for busy people like herself, for now she's just soaking up the experience.
I think my favorite part of being a part of the MasterChef Canada show was just that I was chosen. Like, I was good enough that the judges and the production team saw it in me that I could compete in that environment. So that's a huge honor.
From her home kitchen and now to national television, Treadway is proving that passion, hard work, and a little heat in the kitchen can go a long way. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
Still ahead, we debunk some of the myths that many drivers still believe around auto insurance.
5K a day is back on 93.9
Virgin Radio.
Listen to Hannah and Johnny in the morning for your chance to win $5,000
Every weekday.
5K a day.
Virgin Radio.
And CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins me now for a look at the forecast. And Gary, it looks like this streak of sunshine we've been on looks like it's about to come to an end.
Yes, you're right. Clouds rolling in as I speak with you, Sanjay. And it looks like rain will start soon after midnight and perhaps roll into tomorrow morning's commute. And some thunderstorm activity for the afternoon. Today was a mild day, mostly sunny and beautiful, reaching 29.4 degrees Celsius, 10 degrees above seasonal. Temperatures felt pretty much as they were indicated with thermometers at weather stations because humidity was relatively speaking low, about 45%. So the Humidex value, when we got to 29, it felt like about 30, 31. It was still comfortable. We had a nice breeze out of the south-southwest, sustained at around 20K. But now we have this front moving through, and it looks like the first bit of it happens between now and 8 a.m. It's a long streak of activity, and then some showers turning into thunderstorm activity around 2 to about 4, 5 p.m. for the afternoon. Then we'll get into a nice clearing again for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but cooler because the cold front is the leading edge of cooler air mass. And with that, temperatures will take a nosedive. Here's a look at the rainfall, where it's likely to land, and the computer estimates or prognostications, what we anticipate the atmosphere to produce in terms of the rainfall tallies. 15 to about 20 millimeters rainfall is a moderate event for Windsor. Chatham-Kent less than that. I would say about 5 to 10. 18 degrees through the overnight, clouding over, showers and thunderstorms through the overnight, a real possibility. 18, by the way, is mild. That's twice as warm as we'd normally expect, usually closer to 9 degrees Celsius. Here's the breakdown for your Tuesday. Cloudy morning through the midday afternoon. We're looking at showers and thunderstorms, a high probability of rain for the morning afternoon, and the thunderstorm potential is about 60 to 80%, in particular in the afternoon. We'll get down to about 17 degrees at 5 o'clock and be mostly over with the active weather, mostly overcast at that juncture. Look at Wednesday. 16's the high, 6 is the low. Thursday, sunny but cool, 16 and 4, and then 18 and 4 Friday. Wednesday through Friday, sunny and beautiful, at least in terms of sky conditions, but much cooler and fall-like. The weekend warms up, lower 20s, and seasonal as we look ahead.
Thank you, Gary. If you're buying a new or used car, you may be pitched gap insurance. It can pay off your loan if you owe more than a car is worth. Gap insurance can be expensive, but as one viewer found out, it doesn't cover everything if your car is written off or stolen. Here's CTV's Pat Foran.
In March of this year, Sujesh Putinvitil of Mississauga bought a 2023 Audi A4. Unfortunately, in June, just 3 months later, the car was stolen.
Middle of the night from my driveway.
With financing, he paid almost $54,000 for the car. Included in the price, he also paid for a 3-year maintenance package, a 6-year extended warranty, and gap insurance. Gap insurance is guaranteed asset protection. In the event your vehicle is totaled or stolen, it pays off your loan if you owe more than your car is worth.
I contacted the gap insurance. So they said they are not going to cover everything.
When the car was stolen, Putinvitil's insurance company paid just over $39,000 for the car, and the gap insurance paid almost $6,400. But there is still an amount owing of $6,900. That's because gap insurance doesn't cover things like warranties and maintenance packages.
Since I haven't used any of them, and I'm using my car only for 3 months, they should refund that to me.
Oftentimes, a lot of those products don't add any value to the vehicle. So if your vehicle is written off, but you owe thousands of dollars for all of the add-ons that you purchased, well, you're on the hook for that.
Car Help Canada says dealerships pitch expensive add-ons that may not be worth buying, and if you do, and your car is written off in an accident or stolen, you might not be reimbursed for them. If you're considering gap insurance, make sure you know what's covered before buying it.
Not only is gap insurance often very overpriced, but it's a product for a problem that should not exist to begin with.
Putinvitil says his dealer offered to refund $600 for the maintenance package, and the warranty company offered him $250. He would still owe $6,000 for a car he no longer has.
Since I owe like $6,000, I don't have any plan to buy a car.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Canada's main stock index finished higher as energy and mining stocks had a strong day. In Toronto, the TSX gained 60 points, and in New York, the Dow lost 63, but the Nasdaq added 161. The Canadian dollar lost just 1/100 of a cent, and on commodity markets, gold gained more than $67 an ounce, and oil is up 81 cents a barrel.
Would you text your ex for $10,000? 89X is back. Listen for the keywords and text your ex. It's never been more rewarding to get back with your ex. Only on Windsor's Alternative, 89X.
Start your day with the latest local news. Sign up for our newsletter for direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. This is Mental Health Awareness Week, and for many seeking treatment, wait times for programs can be weeks, even months. But as CTV's Pauline Chan shows us, one program has been able to eliminate its backlog altogether.
Rebecca, who prefers to remain anonymous, has been a mental health client for some 3 decades, beginning with waiting several months for treatment of an eating disorder.
When I had to wait, I felt like no one cared.
I felt like a number.
Now she's getting therapy for her mental health relating to a family member with addiction problems. But unlike her first experience, she was able to get next-day access to care thanks to a restructuring of the addictions program at William Osler Health. Megan Galbraith says before the pandemic, there were backlogs, especially with people awaiting one-on-one counseling. Their solution was to increase the number of group programs.
We actually have rolling admission groups now where you just start. It doesn't matter. People are in different weeks of the group and they learn from each other, which is great.
She says group therapy is successful and comfortable for many addictions clients, although those who prefer one-on-one treatment also have that option. But it frees up more time for the therapist to take single client appointments. They deal with addictions of all types, substances, gambling, online gaming, as well as concurrent conditions like depression or even psychosis. Dr. Ahmed Mansour says alcohol is the biggest addiction, followed by opioids, and they welcome both chronic as well as acute addiction patients.
Chronic, long-standing patients having addiction on the top of their underlying mental health, which is, we call it concurrent disorder, that go through the centralized intake. But for urgent patients, for example, people who visit the emergency room and they are willing to attend treatment at the withdrawal management center, they will have the service right away.
The programs here have been priceless for me. They have changed my life.
Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Back at home, the University of Windsor is celebrating the official opening of its newest student residence, and it's one designed for families. A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held this morning at Rodsick Hall. The 6-story building has 452 beds and is the university's 4th student residence. The university says the project was made possible through a public-private partnership, and the budget was between $60 and $65 million. Students have been in the building for the last month. Canada's Sweet Obsession took center stage in Windsor as the Tart and Soul Butter Tart Festival made its delicious debut in the city this past weekend, uniting pastry lovers with ooey gooey flaky creations, which proved one thing when it comes to butter tarts, that there's something for everyone.
So this one is 2 original, 2 pecan, 2 raisin.
It's a Canadian icon. It's one of the Canadian icon foods. People love butter tarts. People love to enjoy butter tarts. We had some person that ordered 10 dozen butter tarts from one of our vendors who came from afar because they wanted to put them in their freezer so they had them for Thanksgiving and Christmas and into the new year. Canadians love butter tarts, and because of that, we're here to celebrate not only butter tarts but the soul that comes along with it. The love and the care that comes with butter tarts in the way of soul food, soul music, and good old butter tarts.
I'm always joking around saying if a person doesn't like butter tarts, you can't trust them. So we were really excited to be hosting this festival, and especially the fact he brought in butter tart makers and bakers from across the province down here to Windsor for the first butter tart festival. It was something that was pretty fantastic.
Everyone has their own thing. Some people are completely 100% raisins. I gotta have raisins. And some are like, no to the nuts. Some just want the ooey gooey. So whatever works for you to love butter tarts, we celebrate that.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
If you are eligible to vote in the upcoming Ward 2 by-election in Windsor on October 27th, voter information cards are not required. That's because the cards cannot be mailed due to the Canada Post strike. All voters need is a government-issued photo ID or one of the other forms of acceptable ID. A list of polling stations can be found on our website, ctvnewswindsor.ca, along with the full list of candidates. Advance voting will take place on October 17th and 18th at Campbell Baptist Church from 10 in the morning to 8 p.m. And in LaSalle, eligible voters are requested to pick up their voter information letter in person. They will be available starting October 8th at 9:30 in the morning. Each letter has a PIN that is required in order to log in and cast your vote electronically. Again, voters would be required to show a valid government-issued photo ID and can only pick up letters for other voters in the same household. Advanced voting can be done on any computer or wireless device beginning October 10th at 10 in the morning. There will be a voter help center at the LaSalle Civic Center on Malden Road. And sticking with LaSalle, a reminder from its mayor, they will soon see new recycling carts delivered across the community, with distribution starting as early as this week. This is all part of the switch Windsor Essex is undertaking to automated single stream recycling, meaning all materials now go into one cart. Old blue boxes will be phased out at the end of December and cannot be used after January 1st, 2026. Each home will get one large rolling cart, though additional bins can be purchased if needed. And Gary is back with a final look at weather. Gary.
Sanjay, I'm guaranteeing some wet weather. Instead of saying I'm guaranteeing sunshine and well above seasonal temperatures, I've been saying that for almost 4 weeks. But now we're looking at some significant rainfall along a cold front. It's moving into our airspace as I speak through the overnight into tomorrow. There could be some breaks, by the way, but I believe it will be mostly a cloudy day, rainy, and especially in the afternoon, a risk of thunderstorm activity between about 2 and 4 p.m. Sunshine, though, there's your break. The cold front introduces a cooler air mass. That's why the high is only about 20 tomorrow, and then 16s apiece on a sunny Wednesday and sunny Thursday afternoon, respectively. Friday, sunny and 18. Then fair weather Saturday, Sunday, and holiday Monday, Thanksgiving Day. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours in advance. Low 20s anticipated. Keep the rain gear nearby and prepare for wet and cooler temperatures. Let's look at your weather. Good night.
Thank you, Gary. Have a great night. And finally for us, 3 scientists are sharing this year's Nobel Prize in Medicine. They are being recognized for shedding light on how the immune system spares healthy cells.
It's an honor to have been part of that initial work, and I, have been following, what is happening in medicine and how that discovery could have helped.
Major congratulations to Americans Mary Brunkow and Fred Ramsdell, who will receive the award, along with Shimon Sakaguchi from Japan. Their work relates to how we keep our immune system under control to fight microbes while avoiding autoimmune disease. Their discoveries could lead to possible new treatments for that and cancer. Medicine is the first prize of the Nobel season. And that is your news for tonight. Thank you so much, as always, for watching this edition of Windsor's News Leader. We'll see you right back here tomorrow at 6 and 11.